أكبر الله.
I remember that one day, 7 years, 8, 9 years ago, that I was walking down the street. And I saw one of my students, and he was one of the people that would study with me for years. I didn't really know who he was. He was one of these students that would always be on time, that would never gossip, that would never give you the impression that anything was too much for them. But one day while I was walking down the street, I encountered him and I saw him. And as I saw him, I saw that he was very pale. He was very pale. And I saw that he had lost some weight. And then I saw that he had been crying. And I said, brother, what is going on with you? He said, it's okay. I said, you don't look okay. I said, what's going on? You look pale. Are you in trouble? Do you have food to eat? Do you have a place to stay? What is wrong with you? Because that is the first thing that comes to our mind whenever we see people crying or we see that people don't feel that good. The first thing that comes to our mind is that they have problems in their dunya. And the last thing that comes to our mind is that maybe this person thinks about the problems in the akhirah. So I asked him, did you get divorced? What's going on? Did you lose a child? And then all of a sudden he started crying from his heart. And he said, we're going back to Allah, we're going to the akhirah. And I looked at him, I said, subhanallah. You're walking down the street all alone, 8 at night, nobody's seeing you, crying as you're walking, and you are just thinking about the akhirah, and that is what was going on with you. And then that reminds me of Al-Hasan al-Basri, when people would see him and they would talk about hellfire, all of a sudden he would start crying and he turned pale, and they said, Malik, Malik, ma big, what is wrong with you? What's going on with you? He said, وَهَلْ خُلِقَتْ إِلَّا لِأَمْثَالِي? And has nar but been created for the likes like myself? Is hell not the destination for people like myself? When you see people that are occupied with judging themselves, hold on to them. When you see people judging others, run away from them. Those who judge themselves tell you who to be. Those who judge others tell you nothing but turning into an arrogant being, thinking that he is the king of the world, having to look at the faults of people, gossiping about people and telling what he likes and dislikes. It doesn't work like that. When you come back to Allah Jalla wa Ala subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's one question, it's about you. The people who wronged you, He will ask them. So this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَكُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ. Fear Allah and be with the Sadiqeen. And when Allah says, اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَكُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ, لَن تَنَالَ التَّقْوَى إِلَّا بَعْدَ وُجُودِكَ مَعَ الْمُتَّقِينَ وَالصَّالِحِينَ. You will not have taqwa unless you find these pious people who woke up today and told himself, where are the people that can teach me how to cry for the sake of Allah? Who are the people that can revive my heart, that make me feel bad that I'm sinning, and that remind me that I'm losing and not winning? Who are these people? Because if they are not your companions, you will be your companion. Shaitan will be your companion. Social media will be your companion. Look desperately in a state of panic for people that take you by the hand and take you higher. Guides that shine like a bright light. When they speak the truth. When they remain silent, it is because remaining silent then is better than speaking. They do not gossip, they do not complain, they walk the path, they never give up because they know their goal is too big. And this is why Allah says, وَاتَّبِعْ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيْهِ. Follow the path of those who have submitted themselves to me. Look at this verse. Whenever you read a verse, whenever I read a verse, we have to immediately, because the Quran is our way of life. When we read a verse, immediately we look into the mirror. And Allah says, وَاتَّبِعْ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيْهِ. Follow the path of those who have submitted to me. Are we following the path of the people who have submitted to Allah today? Did you try to be a part of the Sadiqeen? The Prophet ﷺ said, الْمَرْءُ عَلَى دِينِ خَلِيلِهِ فَلْيَنْظُرْ أَحَدُكُمْ مَنْ يُخَالِلُ. You will take over and absorb and imitate the way of life of those who are your Khalil. What is Khalil? Today it's not only people of flesh and blood, it is also social media. It is what you look at, what you listen to. The words that you absorb with your mind go to your heart, and then your heart either rejects it or accepts it. Everything that you expose yourself to is your Khalil. So if you expose yourself more to Allah, then He will make your heart shine. But if you expose yourself more to things that don't matter, like if you were to die now, my friend, what would matter of all the things that occupy your mind? What will you take with you? Where will you go with all these troubles? We have one. You know, this life gives you a variety of choices. This life gives you many choices, many options. Full option, semi-option, no option. You have so many options. But Akhirah only comes with two. This life gives you millions of options. But Yawm al-Qiyamah al-Akhirah, you find yourself in front of two options. فَمَنْ زُحْزِعَ عَنِ النَّارِ وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَقَدْ فَازَ. Yani it's either you enter Jannah, you're happy ever after, or it's not and you're sad forever. What is the option? And if you know that that's your destination, you have one thing to do. Choose friends that keep your heart alive. And kick the friends, the social friends, the social media. If you see that it keeps you away from doing what you have to do, wallahi, nobody ever died because of throwing away a smartphone. How many people come to me saying that they are addicted either to explicit pornographic material on their laptops, on their phones, in their own homes, when their wives are in their houses and their daughters and their sons. They are somewhere out there bringing the la'na, the curse of Allah into their houses, the iblis in their houses. They make the angels go away. If you see that this is what the phone or what the computer does to you, get rid of it. Because if we don't get rid of the haram of our lives, we will not be able to get rid of hell when we are in hell. That will be too late. So this is why, yani, when you find people, you know, and open your eyes. Because very often the people that we can learn from are the people from whom we least expect it. We always think that the people we learn from should only be scholars, or people who are known for this or that, but very often it's the most simple of people that tell you, that share with you the pearls of wisdom. How often when I was in Sudan memorizing the Quran, I would see, subhanAllah, I would see a lady, or I would see an old man, and they would talk, they would not be able to read the Arabic language. Probably they never read a book in their lives. Most likely they never opened a book in their lives, they didn't know how to read, they were just taking care of goats and camels, plowing the earth and the soil, and that is all they knew for all their life. But they were the people that were the furthest away of gossip, the first ones to wake up at night and pray for Allah, even before the time of Fajr. They were there. And one of them lost a child, and I told her, I said, Mama, I don't know why I said Mama. Anyway, so that was the way that they would call each other there, like mother, because she was older than me. I said, Mother, I said, aren't you enraged that you lost your child? Because I just embraced Islam. I went to Sudan only like 5 months after I embraced Islam. So I was like astonished, like how can somebody lose a child and have a smile on her face? How can somebody lose a child and still take care of other people and go through life as if nothing happened? I said, Ya ma, like, aren't you angry? She said, my son, do you want me to engage in war against Allah? Do you want me to fight my maker? SubhanAllah, she never read a text in Aqidah. She never read a text in knowledge. She never sat at the feet of a scholar. But nevertheless, there she was, teaching me from the aisle of wisdom, not from the pages of knowledge. These people are the ones we should be looking for. They are usually the ones that are hidden, because they are like pearls, and Allah doesn't expose these beautiful people, but to those who deserve it. Allah doesn't expose these most beautiful people that are to Him like pearls, protected, preserved. He only shows you these people when your heart is hungry, when you have a thirst that cannot be quenched, when you have hunger that cannot be stilled. Then you say, Ya Rabbi, please allow me to see people in my life that guide me to you. And then that door is opened. And then all of a sudden you're so filled with positivity. You're so filled with energy, because you know that even today, 1,400 and so many years after the death of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that some people in the midst of this jungle called dunya are still walking on the straight path, because they know if I look left or I look right, it can be my end, and my end is hell. So this is why some people, when they are driving this, I'm not going to look at my phone now, because when I look at right or left, then I will crash. Habibi, you don't have time in this dunya to look left or right. What are we doing? Engaging with haram for what? Do you know that when you look left and right in a car, you can crash? But if you look left and right doing haram, not being on sirat al-mustaqim, you may die while doing haram. So stay with people that elevate your spirits, so that they always take you back to Allah Jalla wa Ala subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look, ask, beg, and supplicate Allah Jalla wa Ala to show you people that inspire you, that elevate you, that make you love Allah, that make you fear Allah, that remind you that the only thing that counts on the face of this earth is that you make it with as many hasanat as you can, and that you rid yourself of as many sayyi'at, sins as you can. And that's your life in one line. Usalli wa usallim ala rasulih al-kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. الحمد لله كثيرا كما أمر، والصلاة والسلام على خير وأفضل وأزكى البشر سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى جميع من اقتفى الأثر. And when you have that friend, and you love him for the sake of Allah, you have that friend and you treat him well for the sake of Allah, you have that friend and you seek his advice for the sake of Allah, then you can expect yourself hearing that voice on the Day of Judgment, hearing that voice when everybody's in a state of panic, a state of fear, a state of awe. Then all of a sudden you hear that voice, أين المتحابون بجلالي اليوم أظلهم في ظلي واليوم لا ظل إلا ظلي. Where are those who loved one another for the sake of Allah? They didn't get together because they both loved Manchester or Liverpool or whoever it may be. They were together for the sake of Allah. The love for Allah, the love for the Quran, the love for the angels, the love for Islam, the love for humanity and everything that counts. So that is the reason why they got together. Not because they had a shared interest. He's my friend because he likes the same food as I do. What's that all about? He's my friend because he takes me higher. This is my friend because he reminds me of what counts. That's my friend. And then Yawm al-Qiyamah, where are the ones that loved each other for my sake? Because today I will give them a shadow and grant them a shadow. And on this day there is no shadow but my shadow. That is the result of having the right friends. And I want to end on this note where the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam spoke about two people that loved each other for the sake of Allah. Two people, Day of Judgment. You know, everything will start Yawm al-Qiyamah with despair. Despair, like I'm doomed. I know what I'm coming with. I know what I've looked at. I know what I have done with this body, with my eyes, with my mouth, with my ears, with my body, with everything. You come back to Allah and nothing of you remains hidden. So every time you indulge in a sin, my friend, tell yourself Allah can see me. And if Allah wants, He takes my life now and I will be exposed in front of the entire world to know. So Yawm al-Qiyamah, you have these two friends. They both have 49, and I told this 2 years ago. Both have 49 hasanat. They miss out on one hasanat to get them to Jannah. And then one of them says, take my hasanat. The other one says, how? He says, look, we both got 49. If I give you one, then at least one of us goes to Jannah. The other one says, I can't. He says, take it. And he gives it anyway. And then Allah says, now you have 50, enter into Jannah. And the person says, I cannot enter into Jannah without being with the one I've loved for your sake, Ya Rabbi. And he says, I love both of you because you loved each other for my sake. Enter into Jannah to be there forever. You want to be saved? Choose your friends wisely. Friends, either in the world of the tangible or in the world of the superficial and the fake, what pixels, whatever it may be, choose your friend. And don't look for those whom you will have to strengthen. Look for those who can strengthen you, and you will never fall short in spiritual growth and religious empowerment. I ask Allah Jalla wa Ala subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this beneficial. Ya Allah, Ya Allah. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك فإنه لن يعز من عاديت ولن يذل من واليت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت. اللهم رد الفلسطينيين إلى أرضهم، اللهم ردهم إلى أرضهم معززين مكرمين منتصرين منتصرين. يا ربنا إنا نسألك أن تجعلهم منصورين يا الله. اللهم كن معهم وسددهم يا الله، كن معهم في كل خطوة واحفظهم من كل ما يسوءهم يا الله يا الله. اللهم أرنا في الظالمين يوما أسودا، اللهم لا تؤاخذنا بما فعل السفهاء منا، اللهم إنا نتبرأ مما فعل السفهاء منا. اللهم عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير. لا إله إلا أنت يا علي الكبير. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.